Good morning and welcome. Happy Thursday. I hope it finds you well out there. Patriot News Hour here. Joe and Jason, 800-951-0592. The website at allamericangold.com. Before we get into the events, I'll call it the day after. As the yesterday was not a regular debt day. Apparently, $100 billion plus in a single day. We have officially now broken $40 trillion. I don't know if some of that was to help rescue the U.S. Treasury market. If you missed yesterday's show, you're probably going to want to go back and listen to it, but before we get too far into it, for those of you following along with Texas and Iskander, I think for the defense, we rested today. We're getting ready for closing arguments. This thing should be over probably, I'd say probably within the hour. Obviously, we're not going to get a verdict today. I think most of the charges will probably be thrown out, is my guess, and we'll just deal with the security issue. But wow, let's just say really glad, really, in a weird way, that all of this is out in the open. Everyone could listen to it. They streamed it. I mean, it was highly entertaining and a lot of it disappointing on the state of Texas. They didn't really, I don't know. I guess maybe they thought it was a fraud the whole time, and then by the time they realized it wasn't, it was maybe too late to go back. Kind of how I feel about it, but neither here nor there. It went very well, very well, and I will be. Matter of fact, after today, my wife and I were hopping on a plane to Dallas, then we're going to drive to Oklahoma. We have a big event out in Oklahoma, and we're going to be Nectar Pay training. I got my terminal here. Matter of fact, Phoenix, get ready. I have my sales guys. We have a meeting today right after the show. We're going to be doing our training, and then they're going to be out there in mass. And I did get confirmation today. The first two companies that have signed up for Nectar Pay in Texas today. Guys, these are going to come flying in here. The utility, I will tell you, we pre-launched here, and we've been talking to, we probably talked to, I don't know if I was to guess, 150 businesses already. We are extremely confident that we are going to be placing a lot of machines very quickly. So they just sent me 100 more machines, and we won't make the first week of September. Just to give you an idea of what I think, and again, this is educated guess because we've been out into the marketplace. The Dallas-Fort Worth team is like 3 times the size of the team we have in Phoenix, as an example. So I think we are going to see tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars of utility hitting the market. And remember, the utility, they buy on the open market. That means it's not like a limit buy or a limit sale, right? It's just buy. Right? And imagine Nectar Pay saying buy $50,000 of TXE right now. And the price that is going to follow with it. I will tell you, I changed my mind. I'm leaving today, so I was like, but Christine has volunteered. Everybody has until the end of the week. So today's Thursday, so you got one more day besides today. Buy one, get one free on the Iskander mine. How do you feel about, think about, I'll say this, think about when we all went into Texacoin together. We had none of this stuff. We thought we could do it. We now actually have it. I like the gamble on it, and it's a gamble, it's a risk, but man, I think it's pretty low. And don't be surprised. I'll just say this: don't be surprised if we sue the state of Texas over this. Like I told you guys the other day, I don't know, but when their lead investigator admitted on the stand that they knew there was no fraud and yet put fraud in to the allegation, right? That's a big deal. We had a bunch of contracts signed with McKinney. We had music festivals and all this other stuff. We lost that because of that. So we'll see what happens. Not that that matters, but two things. I think we're going to see a really nice move from the price of the coin. Nothing's changed. We want to be a top 100 coin by October, and this is how we're going to do it. I hope you decide you want to get in and get excited with us. We'll be back after the break. 800-951-0592, Patriot Radio News Hour. I hope you do what you want, guys. Sit on your hands if you think that's what you need to do. You're making a big mistake. I'll just say that. Breaking news. Man, this is starting to get really ugly, and I apologize. I'm trying to change prices and talk to you at the same time. Yesterday, we heard about the Treasury program. Very similar to what happened with the Japanese intervention. They had one good day, and then the market said, nah, this sounds like bull. We had a disastrous 20-year auction yesterday. Even with that news, Wall Street is on its back foot. Let's just take a quick look. Down 350 points. The S&P's down 25. The Nasdaq's down over 200 points. The 10-year note, 469, almost back to 470. Like I said, does not look like the markets took the information very well, and to have such a poor auction and these long dates. So for those of you who missed yesterday, we have a problem selling long dated treasuries, 10-year, 20-year, 30 years. And our government is trying to prevent price discovery, period. See, there would be no trouble selling a 10-year, 20-year, 30-year if the markets were allowed to set the yield. What I mean by that is the yields would be significantly higher. Why? Well, because you're doubling the debt every 10 years. And really, it's getting less than 10 years. We're now at 40. Remember, we were talking yesterday. I'm like, well, on average, say we go 3 or 4 billion. Because we were like 50 billion away, right? So I'm like, well, in the next 2 weeks, we're going to hit the number unless we have a big day. And yesterday, there was a big debt day. Why? I don't know.
From yesterday to today is $110 billion more.
Yeah. Think about that. 24 hours later, $110 billion added to the debt.
That's more than 10% of the Reagan debt when he was in office.
it is
in one day
becoming extremely, how do I say, tense, maybe is the right word. The lack of liquidity. And again, think of this globally, okay? We have to do more and more things that the Japanese have done. Right? We know what a disaster that is. On top of it, crude oil's up another $2 today. We're at 88 in NYMEX, 90, almost 94 in Brent. Diesel fuel, diesel's going to be a problem. There's no way around it. Gold, what a huge day yesterday. Looked like it was going to be some profit taking. That has changed. Gold is now up 45.40. You heard me right. 45.40. Silver, get ready.
Silver's on a tear.
Silver, get ready. Up $2. We're sitting here $69. We're going to see, and again, I'm not going to change it. Don't be shocked to see $90 silver before the end of the year. I'm just telling you. By the way, man, I'm just a nice guy. We still have, my wife, we just did inventory. We just completed the inventory. My wife says, hey, we've still got 10 rolls of 94s. I still have to raise prices. I'm going to still do them at $1,500. But if you don't want 94, you want another, a different date. Let's see. I want to tell you what it's going to be as soon as I can get done here. You're going to be looking at what? Almost $1,575 a roll for a U.S. Silver Eagle. And remember, Ed, think about this. Cost right now on a sealed case of anything, Silver Eagle-wise, $72. Okay? So you're picking these up, these 1994s, at $75, and nobody in the whole world sells them for under $105. Probably today, nobody under $110. I don't know what you're doing. Maybe you hate money. I don't know. Maybe that's what it is, Jason. They just hate money. And then I've got 30 10th-ounce. I'm going to sell those at $500. And I will just tell you that I'm making ready for this. Cost on a 10th-ounce right now is $489. So I'm going to make a whopping $11 on a 10th-ounce. But I only got 30 of them. 800-951-0592. What happened? Right. Well, the Treasury Secretary had to come back out today. Obviously, this is not what you want to have happen when you make a major announcement. It doesn't go well. And then all of a sudden, the Treasury Secretary's got to get back out on television. Yesterday, they told us they're going to double the amount of bonds they buy. They're going to buy $30 billion a month, that they would spend, up to $4 billion on any one auction. Now, they're only going to buy the longer dated auctions, the 10-year, the 20-year, and the 30-year. Today, they've already, one day later, think about it. One day later, he's now said, well, we may spend more than $4 billion on an auction. Well, how much? I don't know. Right? Maybe more than 4. Well, it's more than 4. Is that 5? Is it 6? Is it 7? Like, how much? How much more? What about the $30 billion? Yeah, we may do more than that. This is how fast things are moving. Jason, it reminds me of, remember when we had Janet Yellen in the temper tantrum, right?
Yeah.
And B of A was warning, hey, what are you guys doing, right? And you guys are...
Kind of reminds me of the repo, even though that's it's a different thing, but when the overnight lending just got out of control and they didn't know what to do, and the Fed just started throwing money in. I mean, it seems like they're starting to spiral, right?
Yeah, whatever the situation is, whatever it is, it does appear that we were caught flat-footed. It does appear that they may have underestimated how big the problem actually was. And I'll go back. This all started last week. And I warned you last week. Something's wrong with the U.S. having to help the Japanese and do a joint operation. Today, maybe it was yesterday, Mohammed El-Arian, one of the regular guests on CNBC, came out and just said it out loud to everybody. Yeah, the United States helped the Japanese because they didn't want the Japanese to sell even more treasuries than what they're already selling. So now I'm like, okay, wait a minute. How much were they going to sell? How much were they going to sell? That you had to say, whoa, hey, no, whoa, wait, let's help. The bond market sniffed that out in 24 hours. Then we get told, the Treasury comes out and says, well, hey, we may have to, at the next Treasury adjustment in November, we're going to have to increase the size. Maybe we're going to issue less long-term debt. That was kind of the statement. Maybe we're going to issue less long-term debt. That didn't work. Then they got to come out and say, okay, well, we're gonna start buying, doubling the amount of stuff that we're buying. Now, they're supposed to start this September 9th. Do we have till September 9th? I don't know. And by the way, we're going to double it, and we're going to buy $4 billion, up to $4 billion. That was yesterday. Today, well, we may buy more. Guys, listen, they're going to buy more. There's no maybes here. There is, I want you to understand, there isn't a choice now. They took that away from us with their horrible management. Go back. We had how many years of almost zero interest rates? How many years did we have? 5, 6, 7, 8, 10? It was a lot of years of almost zero. And you know what the Fed did when they were almost zero? The exact opposite of what they should have done. We should have sold 10, 20, and 30-year treasuries like they were going out of style. Instead, what did they do? Oh, we don't want to do that. No. We want to drive the rates lower, not higher. We loaded up on short-term debt. And now we're screwed. Now we're screwed. I mean, we've got not quite 4.5 months left of this year. We're going to add, I don't know, another 1.2 to 1.5 trillion more dollars.
It's set up to double every 10 years.
Just did it. When you're in that 8 to 10 years, it's 10 years. 2 presidential terms, it doesn't quite double. I remember how Bush Jr. Joe didn't quite double it to 5. And then Obama came in, from 10. He didn't quite double it to 20. He was at 19, right? But yeah,
I mean, Joe was reminding me, and I've seen it, of course, that it jumps at sometimes, but it's regularly going up. But, yeah, there it is. It went from 20 to 40. So, just like that, right? Obama left office. Technically, Obama left office at the end of 2017, right? And it wasn't 20. And here we are. It's not even 10 years later. We've doubled, Joe.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Here's what got scary. It wasn't 10 years. It wasn't 10 years.
Yeah, it's quickening.
Getting worse, not better. Again, I've got 30 10th ounce at $500. Small fortune on those. Yes, ma'am, back. 800-951-0592. Patriot Radio News Hour. Joe and Jason, and it's a tough day. Again, the U.S. Debt market problems here in the United States as the Treasury now it's all hands on deck to try to keep bond yields, especially and here's the problem, at the higher end of the curve, from getting out of control. Now, here's the big issue. Because of that, they are now going to put more pressure on the lower end. Because what essentially are they going to be doing? We got to issue more short-term debt. Remember the story about the farmers. Man, we plant too much corn, too much soybean, too many apples. We crush the price. See, in bonds, remember, when yields go up, the price goes down, right? Yields going up is bad. We do so much of our borrowing short term because these stupid, I shouldn't call them stupid, they're probably really smart. They knew exactly what they were doing.
Corrupt.
Yeah, maybe that's the better word, Jason, corrupt. Just this alone is probably going to add, I don't know, $250 billion to the deficit next year. Just because yields now at the shorter end are going higher. I guarantee it. And here's the problem. They haven't been able to stop the yields on the high end from climbing. So what does that mean? Have you figured it out? By the way, 471. Oh, my God, it's getting worse as we speak. That means they got to do even more. We've got to spend more money. Don't call it quantitative easing. Dow's now down almost 500 points. We'll watch. This is not a great sign. We did get bad news from Walmart today. A little sketchy here. So Walmart, they were expecting same-store sales to be up 3.5%. It was only up 2.6%. And Walmart saying, yeah, the customer's under pressure. Yesterday it was Lowe's. Consumer under pressure. And yet bond yields keep rising. I mean, listen, I hate to say it, but Walmart's like an economic report all by itself. And when they come out and say, oh, yeah, guys, wasn't so good. By the way, Walmart stock down the most since 2022. Huge comp store sales miss from Walmart, way below that 2.6, way below what anybody was expecting out of Walmart. Of course, don't worry, though, Jason. They still beat the estimates. But none of that matters, right? If Walmart's not growing, is there anybody in the retail space that's growing if Walmart's not growing? And that's the problem.
Yeah, well, Walmart having slow sales is a pretty clear indication.
I mean, they're a big part of GDP, right?
Well, I mean,
you know,
if people aren't buying Walmart, there's nowhere cheaper to buy generally. Well, if you're not buying Walmart, where are you buying? You know, Joe, have you seen the secondhand stores, the Goodwill? You know,
oh boy,
have you seen the prices in those things?
So I don't shop at Goodwill, but one day, I'm not kidding, it was like last month, and I may have talked about it on the air. My wife and I, we had a dinner reservation. We got there a little early, and there was a Goodwill in the park. You know, Goodwill's everywhere now. I mean, we were in North Scottsdale, right? Here's a Goodwill, right? We went in there because we were a little early. I was shocked at the amount of people in there.
Yeah.
Shocked. And I get it, though, right? Hey, I'm on a budget, right?
Some of the prices there are at full retail at Walmart or any other big box store. And some of the stuff that's used has higher prices because the secondhand market has figured out that they have longer-term items, more durable items that last longer, Joe. Well, go buy the new thing at Walmart that'll disintegrate in 1 year. This is one of those 10-year, 20-year items that's just not going to wear out. Right, Joe? So secondhand store has access to old, better-made items. And I don't know about you, Joe, but it seems like I have a consumer mind now that whatever I'm buying, there's a shelf life in my hands. And I got to figure out if the price I'm going to pay is worth the amount of time I'm going to be able to use the thing. If it's a durable good, right, Joe? Because they're not very durable anymore. It's a bad term. You know, a trash item. What's the trash life of this? You know, when's the death date of this toaster I'm buying? Can I get 3 years out of this thing? Right. So you go to the Goodwill, and you're paying more for the toaster there because it probably has another 5 years. And these guys have figured it out, Joe. It's tough. It's tough all around.
It is getting tough, and the same things for the bond. It's tough now because here's what they're saying. Hey, by the way, this intervention, it doesn't change any underlying structural challenges. Matter of fact, what they're doing now is putting a structural challenge on the short end. Right? Let's not address the issue. Well, the action for some decline in longer date yields, by the way, it's over now, right? 4.7, we're back. We're back. Boy, that auction last night, that 20-year was not good. The more lasting impact, this is out of J.P. Morgan, by the way, is the potential for higher risk premiums reflecting a Treasury Department that is intervening into the market and moving away from its, quote, regular and predictable tenet, right? Well, here's what they're saying. Oh, now the Treasury's trying to block price prevention. It's bad enough when the Fed does it. Now we've got the Treasury doing it. Maybe we should really start to worry now that we've got a huge problem. 800-951-0592. So the Treasury Secretary out on TV now. So, yeah, that makes sense. Trying to control what he can't control. Here's what he had to say. Obviously, today, announcing that what they said yesterday, no longer true. Hey, we're going to spend more than $4 billion in auction. We're going to increase the size of the buyback. Doesn't give a number. Yesterday they said $30 billion. I would note that it can be more than $4 billion per issue. And again, doesn't say a number. Then he goes on to say that buybacks. Oh, now listen. Okay, so first he gives some nonsense. He noted that the level of yields did not factor into the buyback decision. That wasn't a factor. And he wants to see fundamentals control the market. No, you don't. Just untrue statements. Now, what he will say, well, it's a liquidity issue. That's the problem. What does that mean, liquidity issue? Well, we just don't have enough bidders, and we don't have enough bidders that will pay what we want them to pay. So what he's saying really is, we don't like the yields you guys want us to pay, and we don't like the fundamentals that are controlling the market right now. But do you think he got pressed on this? I mean, obviously none of that is factually true. But hey, he's got to say it. We will see what the conditions are. And we will analyze them. Well, I'm going to ask Mr. Treasury Secretary, have you not been analyzing these conditions? Why, A, were you so late to the party? B, how could you sit there and make an announcement and less than 24 hours later come out and say, well, you know what we said yesterday? Yeah, forget that. Forget what we said yesterday. That was wrong. All we're trying to do is to get people to focus on the fundamentals and not the trade, the headlines during a quiet period in a thin market. What? What the heck is he quiet? What do you mean quiet period?
It sounded like he said, leave me alone.
Well,
isn't that what it sounded like? Just leave me alone.
He's trying to convince you that by spending tens of billions of dollars that they want this to see the fundamentals. Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah. We're just in a quiet period. There is no quiet period for the U.S. Treasury market, right? Rain or shine, the auctions must go on.
You say quiet period because you want people to be quiet.
Yeah, right.
We're in a quiet period. Why all the questions? Just leave us alone. It's a quiet period.
He did acknowledge that the pressure, the farther out the yield curve goes, but he's trying to. Here's what he's trying to convince everybody. Well, these yields don't reflect current economic conditions. What? Whose economic conditions? We have $40 trillion of debt, Mr. Treasury Secretary. Somebody said the debt goes up, what was it, $90,000 a second?
Yeah, I'm looking at it. It looks like that to me. Yeah.
Here you go. Ready? Ready, guys? I know you guys will love this one. We have a big toolkit. So we'll see. They don't have it. Listen, guys, they've got one tool. Actually, you know what? I'll give them this. They've got a bunch of different tools that all do the same thing. Print more money. That's it. Does it matter? Right, like this is obviously quantitative easing. Obviously. Do they call it quantitative? No, can't call it that. Some people are saying it's a version of the twist that Janet Yellen was doing. Maybe kind of similar in the opposite way. Part of it is signaling here to show that we believe yields don't reflect. Now, maybe that's the first little bit of truth. And I think he's probably lying about that as well. But, hey, we believe. Who's we? I'm not sure. The people at the Treasury, I don't know. That the price doesn't reflect the underlying fundamentals. But the job of the market is to determine that. Liquidity, ready for this? Now, this is where you need to get worried. Liquidity for the 30-year bond is very poor. That was his words. Very poor. You add the 20-year to that as well. The 10-year, it's not great. I wouldn't, and I don't want to go overboard here. I don't think the 10-year right now is very poor. Where does not great fit? Is that poor? Right? If it's not poor, it's right next to poor.
I'm counting $1 million every 20 seconds in the debt.
Wake up here, guys. 10 years from now, gold, 20,000, because the debt's going to be $80 trillion. 800-951-0592. I got 30 10th ounce, $500 right now. You're saving $45. It's a lot. 20s. 120s today. Sorry, 46 and a quarter. $4,625 for a $20 gold piece today. Buy the 10th ounce. I know, but you're like, well, wait a minute, but that's like $375. Buy the 10th ounce. It's a better buy.
It's going to be the choice gold in the future, man. As more and more people get priced out, this is going to be the way to go.
Okay, listen. How you're not running to your phone. You need to buy these silver. Guys, we're giving, these are gifts. It's a gift. I got 10 rolls of 1994 Silver Eagles at $1,500. By the way, a regular roll, I was off a little bit. It's $1,565. $1,565 now for a roll of Silver Eagles, unless you buy the 94s, and then it's $1,500. So why? Because I'm an idiot. Because I want you guys to benefit. It's the whole point. It's the whole point of this. Listen, it's only 40, and I say only, it's only 40 trillion. It's going to be 41 trillion in like 90 days. The only question is, when do we get, how close to 42 do we get this year? We're going to be at 50. It'll be 2028, but the fiscal year 2029. But we'll be at 50 trillion 3 years from today. 50 trillion.
I mean, listen, that $100 billion that got added yesterday, that's not a small deal. That's a 0.25% rise on the national debt in a single day. 0.25%.
You normally see these big numbers when they make the Social Security payouts, right? The beginning of the month or the end of the month, depending on the calendar. It's kind of a little bit of a surprise that it came here in the middle of I don't know what they paid. Or did the Treasury borrow a bunch of money? I don't know. I don't know.
Well, it was 0.25% of the entire debt was added yesterday. In one day. One day, Joe. $110 billion.
Okay. I'm just looking at Walmart right now.
Yeah, Walmart's it's loud and clear.
Man, if this economy it needs to roar right now. I mean, we should be talking about GDP of 4% and 5%.
Yeah, what happened when the economy was really bad the last time? Everyone was worrying about 6 feet and put a mask on. That's what happened the last time the market was bad. They shifted the blame. It's COVID's fault. They're not even talking about it yet. What are they cooking up for us this time, Joe?
And again, I hate to say it, Kevin Warsh, where are you? 800-951-0592. And man, again, I'll say it again. We whooped the Texas State Security Board in that trial. I wouldn't get one free on Iskander Mines, don't forget. But that ends tomorrow. Christine can help you. I'll be out of town. I'll be back Monday for the Patriot Show.